You might be surprised to hear this, but one of the most overlooked reasons for fading energy, weaker erections, and declining testosterone in men over 60 has nothing to do with your age or your hormones. It has everything to do with water. Yes, plain old water. The kind sitting in your kitchen right now. What if the way you're drinking it is quietly draining your strength, your drive, and your confidence? I know it sounds almost too simple to be true, but stay with me, because this might be the most important health message you've heard in years. I'm James Walker, and I've had the privilege of speaking with men across the country, men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, who all share one quiet question: why doesn't my body feel like mine anymore? They try vitamins, diets, even medications, but nothing seems to bring back that sense of clarity, strength, and spark they once had. That's why today, I want to share something that could change how you think about your health from the ground up. Dr. Michael Bennett, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience, has treated thousands of men who came in frustrated and worn down. In his words, it's not always about testosterone, it's about circulation. And your circulation depends on hydration. According to Dr. Bennett, most men over 60 are unknowingly living in a state of mild dehydration. Not enough to feel thirsty, but just enough to slow down every vital function in your body, including the ones you care about most. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you drank a full glass of water before reaching for your morning coffee? Or sipped water slowly throughout the day instead of chugging it when you feel thirsty? Most men don't think twice about it. But hydration isn't just about how much water you drink. It's about how and when you drink it. And that difference can be the key to restoring not only your performance, but your entire sense of vitality. Think about it this way. Your blood is more than 90% water, and your erections depend entirely on blood flow. When your body is low on water, even just slightly, your blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and your heart has to work harder to deliver nutrients and oxygen. That's not just theory, that's biology, and it affects everything from your focus and energy to your ability to get and stay firm. Dr. Bennett has seen it firsthand. Men who had all but given up on their bodies discovered that the simple act of drinking water differently brought unexpected results. One man, a retired firefighter, told him, "Doc, I didn't think water would change anything, but I was wrong. I feel like I'm back in gear." So if you've been feeling off lately, low energy, flat mood, poor recovery, or trouble in the bedroom, don't rush to blame your age. It might not be age at all. It might be your habits. And one of the most important habits to revisit is how you hydrate. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the science behind water, blood flow, and hormone health. You'll hear stories from real men who turn their lives around, not with pills, but with knowledge. And most importantly, you'll learn how to reconnect with your body in a way that feels natural, powerful, and lasting. Because sometimes, the smallest change, like the way you drink a glass of water, can bring you back to the man you've always been. Let's start with something most men don't hear enough from their doctors. An erection isn't just about hormones or desire, it's a hydraulic event. That means it depends on one thing above all else: blood flow. And the quality of that blood flow depends heavily on something you might be overlooking every single day: your hydration. Dr. Michael Bennett, a men's health expert with decades of experience, explains it this way: blood is more than 90% water. If you're not drinking enough, even mild dehydration can make your blood thicker, heavier, and harder to circulate. That one shift slows everything down, especially in the places where smooth blood flow matters most. And he's right. When blood becomes sluggish, the body has a harder time delivering oxygen and nutrients to your muscles, your brain, and yes, your penis. Without enough pressure and volume, it's like trying to inflate a tire with a weak pump. No matter how hard you try, it just doesn't hold. Let me tell you about Henry. He's 68 and a retired tennis coach who came into Dr. Bennett's clinic feeling defeated. "I still have the desire," he said, "but my body isn't cooperating." He had ruled out medication issues and didn't have any major health concerns. His labs were decent. But one simple question changed everything. How much water are you drinking each day? Henry shrugged and said what many men say: "I have coffee in the morning, maybe a soda at lunch, and water if I think about it." Dr. Bennett encouraged him to make just one change. Sip water steadily throughout the day. Not chugging, not ice cold, just calm, consistent hydration. 2 weeks later, Henry came back smiling. "I don't know what happened," he said, "but something's working again." Now, that wasn't a miracle, it was science. When your blood is properly hydrated, it flows more easily. That means better circulation, more efficient delivery of nutrients, and improved oxygenation. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Your vessels respond more easily, and your body starts to perform in ways that feel familiar, even at 60 or 70. Here's something else to consider. Erectile strength is often the canary in the coal mine. It's one of the earliest signs that your vascular system might be struggling. That's why doctors like Dr. Bennett look at blood flow first, before they even think about prescribing testosterone or ED pills. If your blood isn't moving freely, those treatments don't work well anyway. So think about it. If your energy is lagging, if your recovery feels slower, or if intimacy just doesn't feel the same, maybe the problem isn't you. It's your blood. And if your blood is over 90% water, maybe it's time to give your body more of what it needs to do its job right. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It's about energy, strength, motivation, and the inner spark that helps you feel like yourself. But what many men over 60 don't realize is that one of the simplest things, being even slightly dehydrated, can quietly turn that spark into a flicker. You may not feel thirsty. You may not feel sick. But slowly, day by day, your drive begins to fade. And the reason might not be aging. It might be that your body has entered survival mode. Dr. Michael Bennett explains it this way. When your body senses a lack of water, it starts to prioritize the essentials, protecting your heart, brain, kidneys, and maintaining blood pressure. And to conserve energy, it puts everything non-essential on pause. That includes libido, muscle growth, and yes, testosterone production. Your internal thermostat shifts, dialing down hormones that make you feel alive in order to preserve the basics that keep you functioning. In essence, your body trades passion for protection. There's another key player in this story, cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. It helps you survive immediate threats, but when it stays elevated, like it often does in chronically dehydrated men, it starts to interfere with testosterone. Think of cortisol and testosterone like a seesaw. When one goes up, the other goes down. And over time, high cortisol flattens your mood, robs you of motivation, and leaves you feeling emotionally disconnected from your own life. Raymond, one of Dr. Bennett's patients, was 72 and newly widowed. He still had a sharp mind, a steady gait, and no major health concerns. But when he sat down in the office, he said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore." He wasn't in crisis, but he had lost interest in things that used to bring him joy. Walking, reading, even spending time with friends. He felt flat, dull. He wasn't depressed, just disconnected. Dr. Bennett ran a full panel of labs. His testosterone was low, not dangerously so, but low enough to explain his symptoms. When asked about water, Raymond admitted he didn't think it mattered much. "I drink when I'm thirsty," he said, "but I guess that's not often." Dr. Bennett gave him a new routine. A full glass of room temperature water first thing in the morning, a second with a pinch of sea salt to support mineral balance. Small, steady sips throughout the day. No coffee after noon, no alcohol before bed. No more waiting until thirst kicked in. After 4 weeks, Raymond returned with a smile and a spring in his step. "I don't know how to explain it," he said, "but I feel awake again. I'm laughing more. I even feel like talking to women again." This transformation wasn't caused by magic or medication. It was simply hydration, done right, done consistently. And here's what's most important. Testosterone doesn't disappear overnight. It fades when your body doesn't feel safe. When you restore balance and give your body what it needs, starting with water, it begins to trust itself again. That's when the hormones come back online. That's when you start to feel like you again. So if you've been feeling flat, unmotivated, or emotionally distant, ask yourself one question before anything else. Are you giving your body enough water to feel safe, strong, and alive? Most men think they know how to drink water. It sounds simple enough. You feel thirsty, you grab a bottle, you drink. But what if that very habit, drinking only when you're thirsty, chugging large amounts all at once, or reaching for ice-cold water, was quietly working against your health? Dr. Michael Bennett has seen this mistake in hundreds of men. He calls it well-intentioned sabotage. These are men who try to stay healthy, who even make an effort to hydrate, but unknowingly do it in a way that their body can't truly benefit from. Here's the truth. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated. Thirst is a late signal, a warning sign that your system has been running low for a while. Waiting until that point means you're constantly trying to catch up and you never really get ahead. And when you drink too much water all at once, your kidneys go into overdrive. Instead of absorbing that water and using it to hydrate your cells, your body pushes it through quickly, flushing out not just water, but essential minerals like sodium and magnesium. The result? You stay dehydrated at a cellular level no matter how much you drink. Cold water adds another complication. When you drink icy water, your body has to work to warm it up before absorbing it. This delays hydration and can also shock your digestive system. What your body actually prefers is something far simpler. Small, steady sips of room temperature water throughout the day, taken while seated and without rushing. Even allowing the water to rest in your mouth for a few seconds before swallowing helps begin the absorption process. It may sound unusual, but there's science behind it. That small pause allows your saliva to signal your nervous system that water is coming, helping your digestive and hormonal systems respond accordingly. Dennis, a 69-year-old retired truck driver, learned this firsthand. He walked into Dr. Bennett's office with skepticism. "Doc," he said, "it's just water. What am I doing wrong?" Dr. Bennett didn't lecture him. Instead, he invited Dennis to try an experiment. For 3 weeks, Dennis followed a new hydration rhythm. No more cold water from the fridge. No more guzzling bottles at the end of the day. Instead, he sipped slowly. He drank while seated. He started his mornings with a warm glass of water and gave himself time to actually feel the difference. 3 weeks later, Dennis called the clinic. "Doc," he said, "I feel stronger, not just in bed, but in my mind, my body, everything." This shift wasn't about drinking more. It was about drinking smarter. Hydration isn't just a box to check. It's a rhythm to live by. When you respect how your body wants to receive water, it rewards you with better circulation, improved energy, and clearer focus. Most men were never taught this. They grew up thinking hydration was about volume. But in reality, it's about consistency, awareness, and timing. So if you've been drinking plenty of water and still feel sluggish or off balance, maybe it's time to stop asking how much and start asking how. Sometimes, it's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're undoing without even realizing it. You could be following all the advice, drinking water throughout the day, being consistent, even sipping slowly. And yet, something still feels off. You're still tired. Your focus still fades. Your body still doesn't respond the way you want it to. Dr. Michael Bennett has a name for this: hidden hydration blockers. These are common, everyday habits that seem harmless on the surface, but slowly pull water out of your system and weaken all the progress you're trying to make. Let's start with 2 of the biggest culprits: caffeine and alcohol. A strong morning coffee, an afternoon soda, or a glass of wine with dinner may feel like small comforts, but they come with a cost. Both caffeine and alcohol are diuretics. That means they increase urine output, causing your body to lose more water than it takes in. You might think you're staying hydrated by chasing those drinks with a glass of water, but in reality, you're playing catch-up all day long. And when you're over 60, your body simply doesn't recover as quickly from these imbalances as it once did. Then there's timing, something most men overlook completely. Drinking water right after eating water-rich fruits like oranges, grapes, or watermelon may sound healthy, but it can actually dilute your digestive enzymes. When that happens, your stomach has a harder time breaking down food and absorbing nutrients. The result? Bloating, discomfort, and reduced efficiency in both digestion and hydration. Even the order in which you drink matters. Drinking before eating gives your body time to absorb the water and prepare for digestion. Drinking too much after can leave you feeling heavy and sluggish. Overhydration can also backfire. It sounds strange, but drinking too much water too quickly can flush out essential minerals, electrolytes like sodium, magnesium, and potassium, that your body needs for nerve function, muscle control, and sexual response. When those minerals are low, you might experience cramps, fatigue, or even lightheadedness despite drinking plenty of water. Balance is the key. Not too little, not too much. Just right, and in rhythm with your day. Dr. Bennett had a patient named Samuel, 74 years old and a retired airline pilot. Samuel had been diligent about following the hydration tips: room temperature water, slow sips, no cold drinks. But something was still missing. When they looked closer, they realized Samuel was drinking water immediately after fruit-heavy meals, downing water after his morning coffee, and occasionally having wine before bed. These small habits were quietly undermining all the good he was trying to do. With a few adjustments, spacing out water from meals, reducing caffeine and alcohol, and adding a small pinch of sea salt to his morning glass to support electrolyte retention, Samuel saw a dramatic shift. "Doc," he said, "it's like my body finally got the message." He felt lighter, more balanced, and more in sync with himself. Hydration isn't just about adding something in, it's also about removing the subtle things that pull your body out of balance. When you identify and correct these small disruptors, the benefits of hydration finally have a chance to take hold. You stop fighting against yourself, and that's when real change begins. Sometimes, the most powerful medicine is the one we overlook. While men often search for pills, supplements, or quick fixes to improve their energy and performance, there's something far more foundational that most never think to address: hydration. Dr. Michael Bennett has spent decades studying the deep link between hydration and male physiology, and what he's found may surprise you. Water doesn't just keep your mouth moist or your skin smooth. It touches every major system in your body: your circulation, your hormones, your nervous system, and yes, even your sexual health. Let's begin with blood pressure. Proper hydration helps the blood vessels stay flexible and supports smoother blood flow. When you're dehydrated, blood volume decreases, making your heart work harder. This can lead to elevated blood pressure, fatigue, and a reduced ability to sustain an erection. But when you're hydrated, your blood is thinner, circulation improves, and oxygen reaches your muscles and other areas more efficiently. This is why many men report feeling more energetic and responsive just days after starting a structured hydration plan. Then, there's hormone regulation. Your body needs water to produce and transport hormones, including testosterone. When you're chronically dehydrated, your adrenal glands produce more cortisol, the stress hormone. And when cortisol rises, testosterone falls. This isn't just theory, it's been measured in clinical settings. One study found that even mild dehydration led to significant reductions in testosterone and increases in cortisol within just 24 hours. Think about that. A single day without enough water can tilt your hormonal balance in the wrong direction. Hydration also affects your mental clarity and emotional well-being. Your brain is more than 70% water, and when you're low on fluids, it shows foggy thinking, irritability, and a lack of drive. Dr. Bennett often reminds patients that it's hard to feel romantic or motivated when your brain is tired and your body is tense. Good hydration lifts your mood, sharpens your focus, and gives you the stamina to engage fully, not just in intimacy, but in life. Let me tell you about Albert, one of Dr. Bennett's longtime patients. He's 70 years old, a retired mechanic, and had been feeling flat for years: low energy, poor sleep, little interest in sex. His doctors ran tests, tried medications, even referred him to specialists. Nothing worked. But when he met Dr. Bennett, the first recommendation wasn't a drug. It was water. A simple, structured hydration plan. 8 ounces of room temperature water first thing in the morning, regular sips through the day, no cold drinks, and mindful spacing around meals. After 6 weeks, Albert's blood pressure stabilized. His sleep improved. He smiled more. And yes, his sex drive returned. "I didn't think something this basic could work," he said, "but I feel like I got myself back." Albert's story isn't unique. Thousands of men have rediscovered strength, clarity, and confidence simply by giving their body what it truly needed: hydration done right. If these insights are starting to resonate with you and you'd like to keep learning more about natural ways to restore your energy and confidence, go ahead and click subscribe. That way you won't miss the rest of this powerful guide. Let's talk about something many men overlook after turning 60. The way our bodies handle water. In your younger years, you could miss a glass or two and barely notice. Your system had reserves, a kind of buffer that made up for small mistakes. But as the years pass, that buffer shrinks. After 60, the body simply doesn't bounce back from dehydration the way it used to. Even mild dehydration can ripple through the liver, kidneys, brain, and yes, your testosterone levels. The liver is a powerhouse for processing hormones and filtering toxins, but it needs adequate fluid to work efficiently. Without enough water, it's like asking a mechanic to fix your car without the right tools. The kidneys, which filter waste and maintain electrolyte balance, also suffer. When they're stressed from dehydration, your blood pressure can rise, and circulation to every part of your body, including the pelvic area, can be reduced. Then there's your brain, which is about 3/4 water. When your brain cells dry out even slightly, you may notice brain fog, irritability, or fatigue. All of these factors can affect mood, drive, and intimacy. And let's not forget testosterone. Hydration plays a direct role in hormone regulation. When your body senses dehydration, it shifts into a survival mode, redirecting resources to critical systems and away from reproduction. That means less testosterone production and a gradual decline in sexual health. I've seen this happen time and time again in my practice. Take Eugene, a 67-year-old patient who came to see Dr. Bennett. He had been feeling sluggish, unmotivated, and disconnected from his partner. He assumed it was just age catching up with him. But after reviewing his habits, it turned out he rarely drank water unless he felt thirsty, and when he did, it was usually in large gulps, late in the day, often ice cold. His body was constantly playing catch-up. Dr. Bennett gave Eugene a personalized hydration plan. Start the day with room temperature water in small, steady sips, spread intake evenly throughout the day, and limit dehydrating drinks like coffee and alcohol. Within 2 weeks, Eugene noticed clearer thinking and more steady energy. By the end of a month, his mood lifted, his endurance during walks improved, and his partner noticed a change in their intimacy. He was more engaged, more confident. He didn't take a new supplement, follow a complex diet, or add hours of exercise. He simply learned how to give his body the water it needed, when it needed it. The shift was profound because it addressed a root cause that's invisible but critical. So why does this matter for you? Think about how many times you've dismissed tiredness, stiffness, or a dip in desire as just aging. What if, in part, it's your body quietly asking for hydration? Men after 60 need to think of water not just as a drink, but as a daily tool for maintaining vitality. It's about creating the conditions inside your body where blood flows freely, organs function smoothly, and hormones stay balanced. This is how you give yourself the best chance to keep your edge, not just in the bedroom, but in every area of life. Even small improvements in hydration can spark big changes in how you feel, think, and connect with the world around you. And as Eugene's story shows, it's never too late to start. There's a simple habit you can add to your morning routine that takes less than 10 seconds but can make a big difference in how you feel for the rest of the day. After you drink your first glass of water in the morning, pause for just 7 seconds to take 1 or 2 slow, deep breaths. That's it. It might sound too easy to matter, but here's what's happening inside your body when you do it. Deep breathing right after hydration helps release nitric oxide, a natural molecule your body produces in the lining of your blood vessels. Nitric oxide acts like a signal to tell your blood vessels to relax and open up, which increases circulation. For men, especially those over 60, better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your muscles, your brain, and yes, the tissues responsible for sexual performance. Dr. Bennett often explains that nitric oxide is one of the most underrated factors in male vitality. It's not a supplement you have to buy. It's something your body can produce more of with the right habits. Morning is an ideal time because your body is naturally a little dehydrated from sleep, and blood flow may be sluggish. The water hydrates your blood, and the deep breaths give that extra push by triggering the release of nitric oxide. Together, they work like flipping a switch from idle to alert. One of Dr. Bennett's patients, Marvin, age 71, had been struggling with low energy in the mornings. He described it as feeling like a slow start to an old engine. Everything took longer to warm up, from his thinking to his physical activity. Dr. Bennett suggested he try this combination. Start the day with a glass of room temperature water, then sit comfortably and take 2 deep, steady breaths before moving on with his morning. At first, Marvin was skeptical. 7 seconds? That's not going to change much, he told Dr. Bennett. But within a week, he noticed something remarkable. He felt sharper during his morning crossword, more eager to go on his daily walks, and more connected during intimate moments with his wife. It wasn't magic. It was physiology. The water ensured his blood had the right volume and fluidity. The breathing expanded his blood vessels and improved oxygen delivery. Think about it. In less time than it takes to check your phone, you can give your cardiovascular system a boost, support your brain, and set the tone for your energy all day. You don't need special equipment, and you can do it anywhere, at the kitchen table, by the sink, even sitting on the edge of your bed. The key is consistency. Like any health habit, the benefits grow over time, and it becomes a small but powerful anchor for your mornings. For men over 60, small daily wins like this are often what keep the bigger goals. Stronger health, steadier energy, and a more vibrant, intimate life within reach. And as Marvin's experience shows, sometimes the path to feeling alive again starts with nothing more than water, air, and a few mindful seconds to let your body do what it was designed to do. Most men know they should drink more water, but few realize that when you drink can be just as important as how much. Dr. Bennett has seen countless patients make the mistake of cramming most of their water intake into a couple of big sessions, often late in the day, only to find themselves running to the bathroom at night, disrupting their sleep, and still feeling sluggish the next morning. The solution is to spread your hydration evenly across the day, with 5 key moments that keep your body supplied without overloading your system. The first moment is right after you wake up. Your body has gone 7 to 8 hours without fluids, so start with 1 glass of room temperature water within 15 minutes of getting out of bed. This wakes up your metabolism, kickstarts digestion, and begins restoring blood volume. If you combine it with the 7-second breathing tip from earlier, you'll also prime your circulation. The second is mid-morning, about 2 hours after breakfast. This keeps your hydration steady without diluting stomach acid too much while you're digesting. It's also a good time to add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to replenish trace minerals, especially if you've had coffee, which can be mildly dehydrating. The third is just before lunch. A half glass to a glass of water here can help curb excessive hunger, support digestion, and maintain stable energy levels through the afternoon. The fourth is mid-afternoon, the time when many men feel a dip in energy or concentration. Instead of reaching for another coffee, try water first. Even mild dehydration can cause brain fog and fatigue, so this glass can often perk you up more naturally. The fifth and final moment is about 2 hours before bed. This timing gives your body enough fluids to recover overnight without waking you up multiple times. If you're concerned about nighttime trips to the bathroom, keep this serving small, just enough to quench your thirst without flooding your bladder. One of Dr. Bennett's patients, Harold, a 66-year-old retired teacher, came in complaining of low stamina, restless sleep, and declining intimacy with his wife. He thought he was drinking enough water, around 8 cups a day, but most of it was in the late afternoon and evening. Dr. Bennett helped him restructure his intake around these 5 moments, along with small tweaks like avoiding large amounts of water during meals and adding mineral-rich options once a day. Within 3 weeks, Harold noticed major changes. His mornings felt sharper and less groggy. He was sleeping more deeply, waking up only once or not at all during the night. His energy during walks improved, and he began to feel more responsive and engaged in his intimate life. Harold was surprised that something so basic could have such a noticeable impact. But as Dr. Bennett often reminds his patients, the body runs on rhythms. Support those rhythms, and everything from your circulation to your hormone balance benefits. If you've been frustrated by low energy, disrupted sleep, or waning drive, consider not just how much water you drink, but when you drink it. Those 5 daily moments can be the framework that keeps your hydration steady, your body performing at its best, and your vitality alive well into your 70s and beyond. Over the years, Dr. Bennett has seen men walk into his office carrying the weight of frustration, doubt, and resignation. Many had tried pills, powders, or complicated routines, hoping for a quick fix, only to be disappointed when the results faded or never came at all. What these men discovered, and what I want you to hear clearly, is that real, lasting change rarely comes from a miracle cure. It comes from understanding your body's needs and committing to small, consistent steps that support those needs every single day. There's Robert, 69, who believed his intimate life was behind him. He had lost interest, his energy was unpredictable, and his confidence had faded. After reviewing his habits, Dr. Bennett found he was chronically dehydrated and relying on multiple cups of coffee to get through the day. With a structured hydration plan and better timing for water intake, Robert saw his endurance improve, his mood lift, and his sense of connection return, not overnight, but steadily over the course of several weeks. Then there's Leon, 73, who had struggled with restless sleep and low morning energy for years. He thought it was simply part of getting older, but shifting his hydration earlier in the day, cutting back on evening fluids, and adding the 7-second breathing tip in the morning helped him sleep more soundly and wake up ready to move. That improvement in sleep cascaded into better workouts, sharper focus, and renewed interest in intimacy. Eugene, whose story we discussed earlier, found that consistent hydration not only restored his energy but also gave him back a sense of control over his health. Marvin, from Part 8, now swears by his water and breathing ritual as the switch that turns on his mornings. And Harold, who learned to space his water intake through the 5 key times each day, still tells Dr. Bennett that his improved sleep and vitality feel like getting a decade of life back. These men didn't just follow a list of instructions. They listened to their bodies, learned what worked for them, and stuck with it long enough to see the difference. That's the lesson worth holding on to. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal, adapt, and thrive, even after 60. But it responds to consistency, not chaos. The men who see lasting results are the ones who make hydration a daily habit, who respect the connection between water, circulation, hormone balance, and overall vitality. It's easy to dismiss something as simple as drinking water at the right times as too basic to matter. But when you think about how many of your body's systems depend on proper hydration, it's clear why the payoff is so powerful. For these men, the reward wasn't just improved sexual health, it was greater energy, deeper sleep, sharper thinking, and a renewed sense of self. And that's a kind of transformation no pill can deliver. When we talk about hydration and male vitality, it's easy to focus on the surface. More energy, better circulation, improved intimacy. But beneath those visible benefits lies a complex network of biological processes that most men never hear about. One of the most important players in this system is an enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or ENOS. This enzyme's main job is to help your blood vessels produce nitric oxide, a molecule essential for achieving and maintaining an erection. Without enough water, ENOS activity slows down and nitric oxide production drops. That means less blood flow where you need it most, and even the best lifestyle habits can't make up for that bottleneck. Dehydration also affects your hormones in ways that many men overlook. When your body senses it's running low on fluids, it triggers a stress response. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, rises to help your body conserve resources. While cortisol is useful in true emergencies, chronically elevated levels send a dangerous signal to your brain's hypothalamus. Cut back on reproduction. This suppresses the release of gonadotropin-releasing hormone, GnRH, which in turn reduces the signals to your testes to produce testosterone. Over time, this hormonal chain reaction can lead to consistently lower testosterone levels, affecting everything from muscle mass to mood, confidence, and sexual function. There's also the silent damage caused by oxidative stress. Chronic dehydration increases the number of free radicals, unstable molecules that attack healthy cells. One of their prime targets is the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, including those in the penis. When the endothelium is damaged, it becomes less responsive, less able to produce nitric oxide, and less capable of supporting strong, sustained erections. This is a slow, gradual process, but it compounds over years, making it harder to reverse without addressing the root cause. Dr. Bennett often points out that this deeper layer of physiology is why hydration can feel like a switch for some men. It's not just about quenching thirst, it's about restoring the very systems that make vitality possible. When you keep your body properly hydrated, you're not only supporting your heart, brain, and muscles, you're protecting the enzymes, hormones, and blood vessels that keep your sexual health alive. For many men, understanding this science changes everything. It shifts hydration from a casual, I'll drink when I remember habit to a deliberate, daily act of self-care. Once you realize that every glass of water is supporting nitric oxide production, balancing cortisol, and preserving the health of your blood vessels, skipping it starts to feel like leaving your body without its most basic tool for staying strong. Most men over 60 aren't told about eNOS, GnRH, or oxidative damage, but these processes are happening in every body, every day. You don't need a medical degree to protect them. You just need to give your body what it's been asking for all along. Consistent, steady hydration. That's the hidden foundation of lasting energy, stable hormones, and the confidence to keep living fully no matter your age. Dr. Bennett often says that proper hydration isn't really about water. It's about reclaiming who you are. Yes, drinking water the right way can improve circulation, support testosterone production, and boost intimacy. But beyond the physical, it's about your sense of vitality, your confidence, and your connection with yourself and those you care about. When you're well hydrated, you think more clearly, you move with more energy, and you carry yourself differently. People notice. You notice. It's not just a change in your body, it's a shift in your presence. Think about how easy it is to overlook something so simple. A glass of water doesn't seem powerful. It doesn't come in fancy packaging or promise instant results. But the truth is, every glass is like casting a vote for the man you want to be, the man who shows up with strength, patience, and drive. When you skip it, you're casting a different vote, one that says you're willing to settle for less energy, less clarity, and less passion. I've seen men go from feeling worn down and disconnected to feeling engaged and purposeful again, simply by respecting this habit. They didn't need exotic supplements or drastic lifestyle overhauls, just the daily discipline to give their bodies what they need most. Over time, that habit becomes second nature, and the rewards keep building. Deeper sleep, sharper focus, steadier moods, and a more responsive, intimate life. Harold, Robert, Eugene, Marvin, and so many others discovered that the real transformation wasn't in chasing something new, but in restoring something essential. They learned that hydration is more than meeting a number of ounces. It's about timing, consistency, and understanding how this one act supports your entire system. If you've been waiting for the right moment to make a change, this is it. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just have to start with the next sip. Fill a glass. Drink it slowly. Let your body absorb it, and remember what you're doing for yourself in that moment. This is how you build a foundation for the energy, drive, and confidence that doesn't fade with age. It grows. So here's my encouragement to you. Give yourself a week, just 7 days, of intentional hydration. Follow the strategies we've talked about: morning water, breathing, spacing your intake, protecting your minerals, and respecting your evening cutoff. Then see how you feel. My bet is you'll notice more than you expect. And when you do, keep going. You've got nothing to lose, and a more vibrant, capable, connected version of yourself to gain. If these insights have been helpful and you'd like to keep learning more about natural, science-backed ways to restore your vitality and confidence, go ahead and click subscribe. That way, you won't miss the upcoming tips and strategies that could change the way you feel every single day.